All right, welcome back. If you made it that far, I'm really proud of you. Access will be used for the first time by all 99.9% of the students probably. So it's pretty challenging to stay focused. But this is our last video and it's going to be relatively short. Just to recap, we considered how to add new data to Microsoft Access database, like we created tables, faculty table, advising notes table, students table, and then we created a relationship between them. Then we created forms to add new entries to our data. Then we created queries to basically pull up pieces of our data based on specific criteria. And in this video, we're going to learn how to create reports. This is basically a ready result of the data. We submit a query and we get a report, and we can print that report, and it's more readable than anything else. So let's see how to do that, and it's not going to be very long. So in order to create a report, we're going to go to create and we're going to use report wizard. Again, it's a simpler way of doing the reports, and wizards usually are helpful and give you more options. So we're going to do that, but you can test other things. So here we can create a query from anything, report, basically print out of what we have. And we're going to use a report for our advising load. We want to know what the load is for our faculty members. And we can add, what do we want to add to report? Well, we're going to add all the information about faculty. We don't need their email, say, and count of last names. So faculty ID, first name, last name, and count of students. This is what we want to be included from this query into our report. So here, any groupings, say if we had faculty from different departments, maybe we wanted to group them by department, by colleges, and so on. But we're just going to keep it that way. We don't need any groupings because all of our faculty belong to one department. So there's no meaningful way, in other words, to group this data. So here how we want, when we get the report, how we want the data to be organized. Well, let's do it organized by faculty last name in ascending order. So just by last name. And here we're going to keep it default. You can test the other options. Again, it's a matter of preference, and it's a matter of how, what kind of data you're trying to produce. So advising load report is what we are going to call it, and preview the report. And this is our report basically. So you can see it's ready to be printed. We can send it to printer, and it's relatively nice looking. So from our data, from all the information that we have here, we have relatively small data sets here, but you can have thousands and hundreds. We used a query, advising load query, to subset that data, and now we can print it. And we hit print. I can send it to printer. I'm going to send it to PDF. Let's see what we get. So, and there is our report in PDF. So this is how straightforward and easy it is. We could do a little bit of editing here, trying to make it look nicer. So in order to do that, we need to close print preview, and we're gonna get. So these are the options to design view here, and we can add the title, Department of Public Administration and Policy Advising Report. So let me stretch it to the left, something like that. So again, here with this, you can there are no shortage of options. You can play with it as much as you have time. It's a matter of preference, basically. Well, and of course, what do you want to do with it? We can add a logo. So I just clicked in the design tab. I clicked logo right here. So we can add a logo. We can go to our print report view, and that changes a little bit. And we can readjust the letters to the right. again, go to report view. So that's what it does. We can squeeze basically this faculty ID. It's so long. There is no need for it to be so long. So faculty ID. These are the headings. This is how they will show up. So we want them to look nice. And something like this. Student count. Not really essential. So it's not gonna fit. Oh, I did the wrong thing. We shouldn't change this because this tells us the column from the data set where this query is going to be referring to. This is what we need to change, the labels. Student count. Okay, so let's move it to the right a little bit. And this, make it a bit wider. So, okay, faculty ID looks okay. First name, last name, let's preview. Okay, and we can make this somewhat narrower. We're not going to lose much. And page can be smaller too. And this is probably not going to move because we still have these boxes on the right. So what we need to do first is to move all these boxes to the right that are still sticking out. Something like that. And then we can squeeze the report. So, and if we wanted, we could adjust this part, make it narrower, and move this line further to the right. But basically, this is how you do it. You make it narrower, and student count is kind of far away. This is because the first name is white, creates extra space here. You can put it closer. Okay, so it's a bit closer. Again, it's you can play with it forever. So, but this seems reasonable, and we can go to preview, zoom in, zoom out. We can adjust anything we want, but this is basically how you create these reports. As I said, it's very straightforward. Editing probably will take even more time than creating actual reports. All right, I hope that you learned something new yet again. And I hope that in the future you will use at least some of these features to some extent, and which will save you hopefully time. All right, see you in the next videos.